A rib injury has ruled Australian pacer Josh Hazlewood out of the second Ashes Test, with the day-night affair set to start in Adelaide on Wednesday. Hazlewood managed only 14 overs in England's second innings in the opening test at the Gabba. The Aussies won that match by 9 wickets to establish a 1-0 lead and perhaps a psychological advantage over England in the battle for the urn. Gerard Morrisili recaps the action.
England started day 4 filled with hope of taking the match deep into day 5, but the Aussies quickly went to work at the Gabba. The off-spinner Nathan Lyon starting with a milestone scalp.
400th Test match wicket. It's been a long time coming. He's had to be patient. He's toiled, he's worked hard, and let the celebrations begin.
The 34-year-old becoming only the 17th bowler to take 400 Test wickets. He captured 3 more wickets to take his tally to 403. England losing their last 8 wickets for just 74 runs to be bowled out for 297. Australia needed just 20 runs to go 1-up in the series.
He equals the record. Most dismissals on debut for a wicket-keeper.
And it only took 5.1 overs for them to reach the target. Marcus Harris hitting the winning runs to give the home side a 9-wicket win.
Well, his first ball disappears out to the boundary for 4, and Australia take the opening test in the Ashes in emphatic style.
I think it's easy to look back in hindsight. One thing I will say is we wanted variation in our attack. We wanted to be able to change the pace of the game and move through different gears throughout the innings. And you know, it's easy to say in hindsight. I think if we're being honest, we can't create as many chances as we did and put them down. You know, we've created so many chances. Our bowls are excellent. We beat the bat a huge amount of times. We banged out the areas that you want to on this kind of wicket. We just got to be better in the field. And similarly with the bat, you know, 40 for 4. It's not a position to start a Test series. So we know where we need to improve. We know where we need to get better. But you know, I do think the way we responded in that second innings showed a great amount of character and fight, which we will need throughout the rest of this series.
What about? Oh, first of all, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, a lot of things did go right probably from the toss, overcast conditions, wicket had a bit in it, and then turned up day 2 and it was blue skies. So sun was smiling over me. But yeah, really enjoyed it. I was just really proud of everyone. I thought it was a really complete performance. The bowlers did their thing on day 1, and you know, Marnus, David was a big partnership, and I thought the way Trav played, yeah, that's a real blueprint not only for Trav, but I think it's a sign of a really positive, brave side, and just really proud of everyone.
All right, so we're gonna just take a look at what happened in the entire Ashes, the first test, George and Lance. And I know from inception, George said, without even giving England the chance to bounce back, he said that he felt as if they were out of it, the first one, you know, there were no coming back for them. And well, Lance, so said, so done.
Yeah, imagine, cricket is a hell of a game. You make 220 for the loss of 2 wickets. Then you lose the next 8 wickets for less than 80 runs. It's what happens in Test cricket. And as we said on Friday when we were discussing, I said, well, let's give them 200 more. It still wouldn't be enough to make a contest of it. And so it proved. You know what I found interesting, Mariah, Lance? Joe Root saying that if he could go back in time, he'd pick the same 11 for the game. I find that to be astonishingly daft from the England captain, a highly intelligent man.
But I think he has to, I can understand what he's doing, and that is more, George, that's something like what you spoke about, supporting your people and your journalists and whatnot. He already picked this team. You really think he's going to go out in the media and, you know, bash what he selected?
Yeah, because he lost, and lost badly.
No, but some people, they're wrong and they're strong, and that's what we saw from him. And I mean, Joe Root, he did put up a fight himself. It wasn't enough to even help them get over the line, but he stood up and, you know, he took responsibility for a bit with the bat.
Yeah, we kind of understood what they meant when they said they wouldn't use Jimmy Anderson for the first test, but in the second day night with a pink ball. But you wonder why Stuart Broad didn't play then, because Stuart Broad has been a hugely successful bowler in Ashes, and it would have been a tough decision for me if I were a selector to leave both Broad and Jimmy Anderson out of that first test. I'm pretty certain Anderson will play in the second test, but we know Anderson's best cricket comes in England. He's not half as successful outside of England as he is in England, so I'm not sure how much confidence they would garner from having him in this current setup. The Aussies, on the other hand, will lose Josh Hazlewood for this test match because of injury. But I think Jai Richardson, who is a likely replacement, is a pretty solid bowler as well. I see the Aussies being tested a little more in the second test, but I'm not sure if England have it in them to win this second test match.
Well, I do see a lot of changes. The exact changes I can't say because I get the sense that I can't really predict what England would do. But there will be a lot of different changes, George and Lance. And I feel as if we still need to spend some time talking about the Aussie captain, Pat Cummins. You know, the fact that he just stepped in so seamlessly, he made the job look easy, and he really had a fairy tale start.
Yeah, that's what happens when your players perform. Yeah, if Joe Root had similar contributions around him, we'd be talking about a different outcome today, perhaps. What is true is that Cummins, the big calls he made in the game, they worked for him, and things were in his favor, and he capitalized. Listen, let me tell you this. There were some good individual performances for the Aussies in that first test. The most significant contribution by any Australian in that first test was the blasted first ball of the test.
Yeah, I think
what
that
Mitchell Starc did,
yes,
it made every Aussie, I don't want to say 10 feet taller because that's useless in some instances. So it made them more powerful.
Yeah, so why didn't you choose it on Friday in the class moment, George? Because that's part of the reason why I chose it.
What did I choose?
The grey goal?
The Demarai Gray goal?
I think
because it won the game. It won. It set
but you've just explained.
but
you've just explained that first delivery by Mitch Starc set up the victory as well.
But the timing of it, so it set up the victory.
Yeah. Okay.
Demarai Gray's goal settled the game. So that's
but
why.
the point about the start for the Aussies.
But when you in the Ashes, when you do that on day one,
yes,
that's it. There's no coming back. Yes. Remember, I was talking about Rory Burns, and you were telling me that, oh, Mariah, you can't feel sorry for a man that's making so much money.
You still feel sorry for him?
That messed him up really badly. You know, he couldn't catch a ball. He couldn't do anything.
But that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, if you had said to Rory Burns before the test that, Rory, can we count on you if you're bowled at the first ball of this Ashes to rebound and face first ball in the second innings and back yourself to make runs? You would say, of course, I'm made of stern stuff. He didn't do it, so I'm not sorry for him. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, there are a couple of things that England would want to use to propel them going into the second test because they had a situation where although Warner made 94, it was a chance in 94. There were many, many opportunities for them to get him out. And if he was out more cheaply, England could have been a lot more competitive. Yeah. They flourished in only 2 sessions in this entire test match. On day 3, the second and third sessions, when they moved from 23 without loss to 220 at lunch to 220 for 2. Yeah. So those were some of the things in the first test that England will want to look at and try to propel themselves mentally to compete in the second test match, which starts Wednesday night, 11 o'clock in Jamaica, 12 midnight Eastern Caribbean, and it will be live on Sportsmax.